Peace, love to the family. So, how's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling? I send the heart chakra love, frequency love is the answer. Now, I want to talk about something, a real touchy subject, and it's religion. Now, I see people talk about this topic. Some would say religion is evil. And this is just one getting straight to the point, so to speak. But I'm not going to utilize those words. I always like to dig deep for a higher perspective when it's something, man, that I wish to talk about enough to make a live video and put it out publicly. When we talking about religion, we must remove ourselves from the institutions of this world that establishes these different so-called religions. And we must place ourselves in the cosmos. So we want to pull and come from a spiritual aspect because all of these forms of religions bears some level of truth, aka if one was to go on the path of Judaism or Islam or Christian or etc., then going down or choosing these paths can bring one to a level of elevated consciousness, ascension, um, spiritual wisdom, and could lead one to truly understanding, overstanding whom the fuck they truly is. But it takes a special person where their beginning starts with these forms of religion because we was all born into this world and we became affected all the way down, man, to that which we are consuming. You know what I mean? Our parents, those that we was raised by, are engaging into the worldly life, the worldly things, caught up into the matrix system. So depending on whom we was raised by will determine or may not determine for every soul spirit. There is an individual journey. There was a signed contract that took place before one came into existence. So there are certain things that must be experienced. There are certain situations that will be placed upon this individual that has came here to have this experience, to learn these lessons, and to get back to self, aka get back to source, aka to divine energy, dark matter energy. So going down the path of these religions, it takes a special person to take or come to a point of realization to take the lessons that was learned from being in these religions and utilize that which was beneficial and then leave off that which was not. It takes a special person, and depending on a person's soul contract will determine this as well. But one can always change the course of their path. For experience is the best teacher, hence why I always say, may your day be filled with experience. May your weekend be filled with experience that establish elevated consciousness and spiritual awakening. So all the way down to what will be deemed a tragedy, for there is no such thing. All things that take place in your life is meant to take place for your elevation. And I know this may be hard to comprehend for most, but this is where one falls short of not understanding whom they truly are. So religion, even subconsciously, will touch individuals that don't even go down the path of religion, aka study, going up into these churches or establishments of these particular religions and things of this nature. So even a person that don't choose that will still be subjugated unconsciously to the regurgitation that comes from these people of these different religious institutions. So they adapt the mindset of God, for they hear it so much, and people scream God all day long, but they have no clue what it is that they're talking about. And subconsciously and consciously, these people of these different religions think of God as some man or someone or someone passing judgment. This is not the case, family. This is not the case. When we are talking about the Almighty Creator, we are talking about all that you see, all that's in existence, and all that you see, all that is created within this world is energy, vibration. All that you see is dark matter energy, family. Shapeless, formless, in and out of form. So you hear me say shapeless, formless, in and out of form. So what you see in form as physical matter is the dark matter energy that I speak about. This is a high level intelligence that no description can be given. So even when we talk about Allah, Buddha, etc., etc., these are just terminologies to feed the ego. For there is no description, family. How can you give a description to something that is shapeless, formless, and constantly in and out of form, has no beginning, no end? How the fuck, Nichols, can you put a name upon that? So all of these names is just terminologies or given a level of insight to feed one's ego. And based off of the information, knowledge is just accumulated information that one have dived off into, then they will gravitate to a particular terminology that fits their ego. But what is the ego? And what do I speak about when I say fits one's ego? Well, the ego is necessary, you know what I mean? For it's an aspect of the opposite poles, negative, positive, divine feminine, divine masculine, duality, good, evil, hot, cold. And when taking physical form, there are certain attributes that one must utilize. So it's like a video game. Look at all that you see behind me. Look at this big space. And you see this big space, and all the way to the top here, you know what I mean? We can have ego. Up under that, we can have a hammer. Up under that, we can have a 9mm shot off shotgun, a vest. Over here, we can have seeded grapes. Over here, we can have hamburger meat. Under that, we can have You know what I mean? So it's a video game, and we have all of these things that has been created by the creator, or that form that is having a physical matter experience. So if you think of it as such, then you will begin to understand, man, that you are not this physical body, you are not this brain, you are just dark matter energy in a avatar. And your avatar is what you utilize. Now, this is not to negate the physical, because when we talk about mastering the four body systems, the mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, the physical is very important, family. Is it not so? So, when you understand that the human body is the ultimate technology across this planet, everything was designed after it. The human body is a highly advanced vehicle, spaceship, warship. You must worship. For there is no such thing as death, in no way, shape, or form, family. What it is, man, that we are experiencing when we speak about death within this reality is just out, being out, or being not in sync with the laws of nature, all the way down to our environment. We are out of the law of correspondence. Our environment is polluted, family. So what takes place if our environment is polluted? For the environment is you. So if the environment is you, you are all things. Then if the environment is affected, then you are too affected. But here's where the ultimate technology is such a highly advanced vehicle. You have no understanding, overstanding. For it does such things to establish life. So it goes through vital adjustment. So if you was to take one out of this polluted environment and put them into an environment outside of this country that is not so much as polluted, they will become sick. And you say, well, how if I take someone out of a polluted environment and put them in a high frequency, unpolluted environment, they will become sick because they've been living in a polluted environment to the point where their body has become adjusted to it. So when you remove them from their habitat and place them in an unfamiliar habitat, then the body will go through levels of discomfort, or what appears to be level of discomfort. It would just be simply the body is going through some things to establish adjusting to the new environment. So getting back to the original topic of this video, religion. Religion is unnecessary, but it can be necessary. But it causes too much confusion. So that which causes too much confusion, it must not be necessary. It must be removed. Because at this point in time, there's too much levels of stimulation. So one could not even establish complete focus upon understanding whom they truly are. So we must remove religion altogether. Now, this is a touchy subject because what I'm saying to you is, again, going down this path or choosing the path of whatever form of religion you choose, there will and there is benefit. But if you are not an individual that is paying attention or is serious even within the religion that you are in, that you are doing levels of study, because if you do deep levels of study in the religions that you are in, then you will get to a point where you will leave that religion and simply transcend to higher levels of consciousness, putting you in a different space, in a different category, a evolved being past that which was your original beginning, which is that religion. Because religion is dealing with spirituality, is dealing with certain levels of understanding whom you truly are and things of this nature. But people do not study their religion, family. The world, this world, and then along with the trickery and the fuckery that comes within these different religious institutions, people are operating in a state of fear most times. And in all of these religious institutions, if one truly study, they will hear certain similarities. They will see certain similarities even in the people that are of these particular religions. But the trickery of this world that don't that teaches us a such thing as you're black, you're white, you're Puerto Rican, you're Hispanic, you're this, you're that. There's no such thing. We must get rid of that fuckery nonsense. Because if we want to place an individual in a particular category, then we must deal with genetics. That's it. And then when we talk about 9 ether, 6 ether, 11 ether, or we get off into the 11 noble gases, you know what I mean? Or we get off to different beings, beings living within the ocean, beings living within the earth, the Lyrans, the Octarians, the Anunnakis, the Palladians. Like, we have different beings, family. We have different past the Antarctica walls. Most of these planets is right here, man, on planet Kai. We've been lied to greatly about many, many things. And I will end there. Because if information is infinite, then this means that there's so much more for you to know. And if you're not one to seek wisdom, truth, facts, then how will you transcend? How would you no longer be stuck and caught up into the matrix blindly? Because you have people of these different religions that went out to go get that jabber, still have masks smacked across their face. So it's like, what these people of these different religious institutions supposed to be the best of examples for the people, man, that is not of these religions. And you see, once again, we dealing with the ego, we dealing with separation. There is no separation, but this world likes to tend to push that, you know what I mean, so that we can have the ego, this masculine energy, this left brain, and not incorporating the divine feminine energy, wisdom, Lucifer, love, which is the universal consciousness. The heart is the seat of consciousness. The heart is the key to the ascension process. You are not this physical body. You are not this brain. You are dark matter energy. I hope I have brought a level of clarity and sparked a level of thought for you to dive deeper into, to contemplate over, and ultimately begin to study deeply, family. You must place yourself, man, in seclusion. Like, if you really want to know, you have to have a strong desire, a strong will to, and discipline to sit with information. People are so stimulated. Everyone has ADHD. They can't sit still. Always want to be seen, be heard. You know what I mean? For those that operates heavy in the ego, especially even with information. You know what I mean? Spiritual knowledge. I had someone, man, that shares things. You know what I mean? Put things in captions. And I'm like, man, this person is vibing, man. They seem to be high frequency, and I'm basing that off of the level of information that they are sharing. And then this person blocks me. And then I went to my other social media just to contact this person, said something, and then now the person unblocks me. But this person blocked me for no reason. So it's like, even people, man, that dive off into information, man, this is why, you'll hear me say it, and I will say it here: the power of repetition beat you across your cerebellum. We must be careful whom we listen to. And if I can say, as I've said many of times, you must think, hear, feel, see, and operate from the heart space. Because this will allow you to see energy, see what frequency and vibration a person is operating on. And then you must understand whom you truly are. Because when you are looking at this individual, you are looking at an aspect of yourself having an experience. So you will begin to operate with keen discernment, divine insight, keen perception, keen elevated comprehension. You'll be able to see all the way down, man, to you'll know exactly why this person blocked me. And I know exactly why. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say they did. You know what I mean? Because things that I post, I literally set it to be public for everyone to see. I'm not here, man, to hide high energy, for it is needed and necessary to be placed on these social media platforms to wake up those men that are still asleep or that are seeking answers. You know what I mean? So I put things that I post publicly. So this person, scroll my timeline, and they came from the ego and was like, oh, I don't think I want this person to know the information. And then I've said certain things on the comment, you know what I mean, all the way down to, reflection, good things. I said nothing negative, you know what I mean? It was all love. So, but then now they unblocked me after I left them a message on my other social media, and even the message that I left was love. I'm like, well, why would you block me? Of course I know why, but I want you to, and this is what I said. I said, I'm gonna utilize this as a teaching moment for you. Hopefully you take it as a teaching moment, because everything that happens in your life, all the way down to you getting this message from me, is meant to take place. Nothing, absolutely nothing happens for no reason, family. For energy is always responsive, so it's gonna react, and it's gonna react to its reflection. So lessons can, will, and always will be learned. If you know that this is the case, then you will always benefit from all things that take place within your life. I send the hot chakra love frequency. Love is the answer, family, to everything in life. And one must dive deep into your mental health, and one must operate from the heart center. I am him, ninth dimensional ascended master dragon. I love you all truly. Kim, quintessential individual management position of self. And before you can get to the quintessential individual, you must pimp person in management position of self. Apply the pressure, beloveds. Peace, love.